Welcome back to video number 3 in our Lego minifig series. In this tutorial we're going to look at modelling the legs. So you can see on screen I've got a drawing of the legs, so let's have a bit of a look at that. This is probably going to be the trickiest drawing that you've done so far, purely because there's a little bit more geometry in the creation of this. So if you have a look at the legs here, you can see them up there at the top right hand corner of the screen. That's basically what the block kind of looks like. I haven't really worried about modeling the actual parts that clip in here, purely because when we assemble it, it's not going to be seen. So for all intents and purposes, this is going to be something that's kind of like a static kind of minifig, and he's going to look the part, or she, and yeah, everything will be a-okay. Let's have a look at the drawing. So we've got the front view here. Basically we can see the front two legs with a little gap in between, as you can kind of see there. This is the top view here. We can see some hidden detail lines. These dashed lines are hidden detail. And then we've got the right side view here. So essentially we've got, lots of straight lines here. Bit of a circle kind of going through there. I can imagine that circle. We've got a rectangle there. And dimensions. In terms of this drawing here, it says a radius of 3.5, which would be a diameter of 7. So I think all of our drawing really in Rhino is pretty much going to come from this. Now, where might we start first of all? I'm just kind of thinking. Let's do something easy. We might do like an 8 horizontal line here. We'll come up 11 millimeters there, then we might come around 3, across 3, and then up this 4.84. So we're going to look at constructing this piece of geometry first of all. So we'll do the 8 and the 11 first. So I'm just going to move this across, and you guys can refer to that on your laptop. And I'm going to draw this in the right viewport. And that's because obviously our front view of our minifig man when it's assembled is going to be in the front, but the legs are going to be drawn from the side view. So let's enlarge our viewport here. We'll get everything panned out. So we've got the red line represents the ground. Of course, do your usual things there. Make sure you've turned on grid snap and planar and O snap and all of that sort of stuff. So let's go ahead. Let's get a line, polyline tool, and we're going to start there, and we're going to designate that as being 8 millimeters according to our drawing, and we'll lock that in as being horizontal. And now we're going to designate this line according to our drawing as being 11 millimeters, and we'll lock that in there and designate that. And then I'm just going to hit enter to finish that part there. Now the next part of our drawing, if we have a little look, and I'll just bring that back in just so that we can remember. So we've just basically drawn this line here and this line there. So now we're going to go up 3 and come across 3. And then we're going to go up 4.84 millimeters. 4.84. So 3, 3, 4.84. All right, let's see if we can remember that. All right, back to the polyline tool. We're going to snap to the end here. You've got my ends checked. Boom, it snaps to the end. We'll go up 3. We'll come in 3, designate that again. So I'm typing in 3. And now we're going to come up 4.84. Very, very precise. And you can see that's there, and we're just going to designate that and hit enter to let go. Alright, so whilst we've got these two lines here right now, let's take care of a few things. Let's select both of these two together and we'll join those. Okay, so let's have a look at what we might do for our next piece here. So here we have essentially, let's put a circle in here, and the reality of the circle is that it meets at the quad point here. In fact, this line meets at the quad point. In reality, we call that tangential to this line, but you guys just need to know that's a quad point. When I say a quad point, I'm talking, let's imagine 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. They're quadrant points. So we'll do a circle with a diameter of 7, and then I'm going to show you how to snap it into position. And it's going to snap at that 11 mark there. So let's do that. Let's get a circle in here. All right. I'm just going to draw a circle up in space somewhere, and I'm going to give it a diameter of 7. Designate that. Boom. There it is. Okay, now this is where we're going to move. We're going to pick it up by this quad point here, and we're going to snap it to the end of this line here. How do we do that? Okay, first of all, let's check quad, which is there. And I'm now going to move it, so I need this tool here, which is move. So it looks like a box being moved. All right, so now point to move from. Let's snap to the relevant quad point. Is it this one? No, it's that one right there. Okay, so we're now, oh, sorry, my bad. Let's try that again. I needed to select the object that I wanted to move. Move. We're going to select the quad point there, and we're going to move that to the end of that line just there. Beautiful. Everything lines up as it should. Let's have a little look at our drawing, and you can kind of see that there. Don't worry about the rest of the circle. We'll trim that out shortly. The next thing that we need to do is to create this rectangle up here, and we can see that that rectangle is 8 millimeters in length, and the height of that, well, where are we going to find the height? Actually, if we look over on this side here, we can see that this line here, which is also this edge here, is 2 millimeters. So I need a 8 by 2, and I can also see it's 15 millimeters up. Okay, let's remember that 8 by 2, and we know that it's 15 millimeters up. Okay. Now, I could use some of these squares and kind of go, okay, in this instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or I could just draw a line. In fact, I might do that. I'm just going to draw a line as a bit of an indicator here. Here I go. It's just 15 millimeters long. There it is. That's just my reference. I'm now going to draw a rectangle, and the rectangle is going to be, what was it? It was 8 by, let's do it, 8, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was 8. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so I can see where that goes. I can see where the 15 goes, so I'm actually going to start here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to type in 8. Okay, and in order to pull this down, I kind of need to go a -2. If I go 2, it's going to go upwards. If I go -2, it's going to go downwards. So we'll type in -2. Hey presto, we've got that in place. And that line there was just an indicator, so I knew where that 15 mark was. So I'm going to delete that line. And now what I can do is actually trim some of this geometry away. All right, trimming, let's get that underway. That looks like this little guy. Hover over it, looks like a blade chopping something off. Trim. Now, command line is going to say select the cutting objects. They are the things that we're working with. So in this instance, I'm going to select this and this. And then I'm going to hit enter. And then it says select the objects to trim. So now I can select this line here, or that curve, and then I'm also going to trim that part away. All right, good job done. The next thing that we can do is trim away this part here. So we'll do that, same again, trim, select the cutting object, so I'm working with this and that, press enter, select object to trim, and we're going to click on this guy here. And that's what we should now have. Now, things are probably in separate parts or separate pieces, so we'll go ahead and we will join all of that together. So that's your first job, which is basically to create that geometry. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in part 2 of this video.